Well, our first guest joins us via satellite from Vancouver, BC, Mr. Brad Lever. He is the CEO of eCrypt Technologies Incorporated. Their stock symbol's ECRY. Brad, welcome to the program.
Pleasure to be here, Don.
Well, Brad, eCrypt Technologies describes itself as a company which develops and sells encryption software that secures the transmission, storage, and access to digital information worldwide. Can you give us a general overview of the company, please?
Yeah, happy to do that. You're absolutely correct in that we do specialize in encryption. I think even beyond that, what we specialize in is making encryption technology accessible, easy to use, as it's very important for people to understand today that there are tools that they can use to protect their privacy, whether for business or for individual use.
You know, Brad, I think many people and companies, for that matter, are unaware of how vulnerable their personal and corporate security is to potential hackers as a result of email.
Absolutely. It's great that the media is doing such a great job in covering it these days. You know, since we first started in this company in 2007, you know, you would see a reoccurrence of issues of cyber breaches and what have you, you know, occasionally in the news. But today we're seeing multiple accounts, you know, on a daily basis. I also do think that businesses are becoming far more aware, as we're noticing in the news again today. But I do agree that their general awareness needs to be enhanced.
eCrypt Technologies Incorporated, ECRY is their stock symbol. Brad, cybersecurity is really a rapidly growing industry. It's grown tremendously in the last 10 years, hasn't it?
Absolutely. You know, I'd like to just suggest to everybody today that, you know, our foresight that we've had to be in the position that we are today tells us that, you know, we're really only at the tip of the iceberg. And we're seeing in the news and the media every day new breaches, and it's quite significant. And yes, you're absolutely correct. There's a tremendous amount of growth in this industry, and you know, I dare say that, you know, cybersecurity being one of the fastest growing sectors within technology globally today.
The company recently announced that Thomas Turkle has been named to your board of directors. Tell us a little bit about Thomas and what this appointment means to your company.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. As you may be aware, Don, and some of the audience may be aware, we've developed quite a board. We believe incredibly strongly behind foundation in the company. We do know that, you know, the people behind the company are really what make the company. And if you look, starting with our chairman, Congressman Weldon, Admiral Jay Cohen, Dr. Eric Matala, and now Thomas Turkle, who is one of the country's top investment strategists. His company, Brookwood, you can check out brookwoodfinancial.com. They manage over I think it's $1.2 billion. And it's just a real benefit to have somebody with his experience and knowledge in the financial sector, not only to guide us as entrepreneurs, but also the contacts and exposure that he can help bring to our technology.
You know, I did some research on the company preparing for this interview, went to the website eCryptinc.com. I noticed your technology is also available for wireless devices like the BlackBerry and iPhone. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, cybersecurity isn't something, and cyber threat isn't something that's isolated to computers and large networks. I mean, these threats exist as granular as mobile devices that you and I both carry every day, that connect to other infrastructures. And one of the things people need to realize is that with email specifically, it's really the gateway to any large infrastructure, and basically the way that information travels in and out. So this is an area that we need to safeguard. This is a very specific area where businesses need to put focus in safeguarding. And, you know, that's what eCrypt's here to do.
eCrypt Technologies Incorporated, ECRY is their symbol. I was also very impressed, Brad, to read that your technology is military-grade encryption. Now, that was formerly only available to banks, Fortune 500 companies, and governments.
Yeah, absolutely. That's correct. We're proud to be able to offer, whether business, government users, or individual consumers, the highest level of securities that have traditionally only been accessible to military and other Fortune 500 businesses. But I really think the more significant point is that we're making it accessible and easy to use. And I think that is what you're seeing as a transition in today with technologies like eCrypt is actually presenting it in a format that's very familiar to the users, which, you know, again, security is really only as strong as the ability of the users to use it.
Well, Brad, I know that you've made a rather magnanimous offer to our members of our audience. Why don't you tell me about that?
Yeah, sure. It's my pleasure. Until June 15th, we're actually offering 6-month free service of our email encryption service that you can find at eCrypt.me. That's ECRYPT.me. This service will work with your existing email accounts. It encrypts any emails. It also gives you a secure file storage for storing any sensitive documents that you have, as well as the ability to share documents with other members that are on the platform. And as you mentioned, this technology works from your handhelds, your iPhones, your BlackBerries, your Androids, as well as obviously from PCs.
Well, if you'd like to take advantage of that offer from Brad, just go to eCryptInc.com/MoneyTV. Again, eCryptInc.com/MoneyTV. Again, the company is eCrypt Technologies. ECRY is their stock symbol. Brad, why is this a good time right now for people to take a closer look at your company?
Well, you know, we've kind of mentioned, and I think we've hit a couple of strong points throughout our conversation today. One, you know, cybercrime is something that's rapidly growing. Again, I mentioned probably one of the largest growing sectors within technology around the world today. And I think really significantly is the fact that we've really only hit the tip of the iceberg. And if we look at the revenues that are generated, and as mentioned before, many reports saying we've already exceeded those revenues of drug trafficking worldwide. And the fact that we're only at the tip of the iceberg. It's the foresight of the founders of this company that have put us in great position. We've got an incredibly strong board. Our foundation is sound, and we're really in a position to really absorb the significant opportunity that's in front of us. So again, we've taken this company public to give people the opportunity to join in, and you know, I think there's no better time than now.
eCrypt Technologies Incorporated, ECRY is their stock symbol. We've been chatting with their CEO, Mr. Brad Lever. Brad, we've been looking at your company for about a month or so. We're going to continue to follow you here for the better part of the summer. Looking forward to more updates from you during that period of time. Thanks so much for joining us on the show.
It's been a pleasure to be here.